Are we ready on Hooks? People against Robert Hooks III, 23B1428 140D.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Crawford representing Mr. Hooks. Mr. Hooks, please state your name for the record.
Robert Hooks.
All right, so your client was charged with the super drunk, as you know, charge 0.17 or higher, and there was a rear end crash here. And I want to make sure, is there a German Cardenas? There were two different names listed here. We sent a German Cardenas, a victim's rights letter, and then in the police report, it had somebody by the name of Cathanata. So I just want to make sure that the victim has been covered. Do we have any victims out here, Lisa, on any of these?
No.
All right. So, counsel, have you had a chance to review the report, and are there any material additions, corrections, or deletions?
Your Honor, we have had the opportunity to review the report, and there are no material additions or deletions that we're requesting, except for the one recommendation about the inpatient treatment. My client.
I'm not going to do that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
But I am concerned about you. All right?
I understand.
So just so we know one another, I want to remind him, I want to remind you, he reported to probation for a screening on March the 13th. He appeared to be intoxicated. He was given a test with 000 results. I gave him until March the 16th to complete. And I advised him to bring his proof of prescriptions. You look like you've been taking something today.
No, just waking up.
Waking up? It's 10:30.
Yes, takes me a while to wake up.
And isn't it true, sir, that you said you had to take some medication late last night?
I take night meds and I take morning meds.
So, all right, let's go ahead and proceed. Tell me whatever else you'd like to say, counsel.
Well, nothing, Your Honor. My client's obviously, sorry about the incident. Feels terrible. He appreciates the court sensitivity so far to him having to manage his mental health issues and sometimes the effect that medicine has on him. Understanding it has some very powerful drugs that he needs to take. He's appreciative of this opportunity to be on probation. He intends to follow it. He just asked for some consideration in terms of dealing with the fines and costs because he's not working right now, but he will be actively looking for work that does not exacerbate his mental health condition.
When did you leave Rocket?
February 12th.
Of this year?
Yes.
You went to Brother Rice.
I did.
You got an undergraduate degree.
I do.
Why, how do I say this? I mean, we got to get you back on track here. Let's not go through life being an underachiever. You follow?
I follow.
That's a horrible thought. It doesn't sound like you've got a very productive work history.
I've been working on my work history. I've been getting into the financial industry.
What does that mean? What aspect?
I was at United Wholesale Mortgage before, then I went into Rocket Mortgage. It was just the stress at Rocket Mortgage that kind of was too much for me.
Okay.
It was too much of a workload. Not so much that I don't like working, but it was just too much of a strain. So it led me into the negative direction. So that's kind of why I am today. So I kind of quit Rocket to save myself from that.
I just want to be clear. You do not have any physical disabilities, correct?
Correct.
There's nothing on the report that indicates that you do.
No.
So here's a big red flag for me. You scored in category 5 on both the alcohol and drug use. That's the worst you can do. That's the highest. That tells us you have a serious alcohol issue. You have a serious drug issue. You were using cocaine. You're on these meds. You cannot do this. Have I let you finish?
Yeah, you did.
Have I let you finish?
Well, Your Honor, I'd just like to remind the court, my client has dabbled in recreational drugs. Unfortunately, that's the wrong way to kind of self-medicate and try to deal with his mental health struggles. But at the same time, as I remember reviewing the report, his last reported activity was almost a year ago. He understands this is wrong, and he's trying to focus on his mental health and the prescribed medicine, and then putting himself in a proper environment.
How did you get here today?
What do you mean?
How did you get here today?
I Ubered.
You Ubered.
Yes.
You did not drive.
No.
You're not under the influence.
No.
You fully understand everything that's transpiring here.
Yes.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, I'd be nervous to have you go out and drive a motor vehicle. So I don't know if you need to go talk to your mental health specialist and have them adjust the meds. I'm no psychiatrist. I never proclaimed to be. But it just appears to me like you might be under the influence of something.
I don't like how they affect me in the morning either. So I agree with you.
Well, then go back to it. I mean, that was bad, what we had going here a few weeks ago. You need to get help. You need to get off the drugs. You need to get with somebody who you feel comfortable with and trust, and let's get your medications under control. Take the meds as prescribed and in the dosages as prescribed, okay?
Yes, sir.
But now here's what we have. You rear-ended somebody. Now that person, it does not appear was hurt, or at least I have no evidence the individual's hurt, but
No.
well, but that is not exactly what you told the police officer. 18 months probation. I'm not going to make you do inpatient, but you're going to make sure you get clean. You cannot leave the state without the consent of the court or violate any law or ordinance. If you change your address, your place of employment, or home telephone number, you must notify the probation department. You do have to report as directed. No alcohol, no illegal drugs, no marijuana. Take the medications as prescribed in the dosages prescribed, but no more. Kratom, poppy seeds, and CBD oils are prohibited. Consuming food or other items containing those substances will be deemed a violation. I want you to submit to chemical testing PBTs and ETGs 4 months weekly. If you're clean, for 4 months after that, bi-weekly. If you're clean, monthly. So 4 months weekly, 4 months bi-weekly, then monthly. No alcohol, no illegal drugs, no marijuana. Take the controlled substances, the prescriptions, and the dosages prescribed. Victims Impact Panel, one night put on by Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. Attend that, complete that. Continue your mental health treatment. Updated reports. We need those, okay? AANA, 3 times a week. Intensive outpatient treatment, attend that, complete that. Once you get into intensive outpatient treatment, you no longer have to attend AA or NA. Do you understand that?
Yes. So
wait, I just want to make sure you understand that first. Do you understand that?
No, could you repeat that?
All right, I'm going to come back. Let me come back. I'm going to say this. I want you doing, I'm going to give you 5 days jail credit 1. I'll let you serve 2 on the court work program. There's a $35 a day charge for that for a total of 70, and also 2 days of community service. Your community service, I'm going to give you until May the 15th to complete. 2 days court work, $35 a day charge for that for a total of 70. Fines $300, cost $150, $75 victims' rights fee, $50 justice assessment, $575, screening fee $60 for $635. You have $360 in probation fees. So your totals $995. You have cost of recovery of $150. And then you have $70 in court work program fees. Everything included amounts to $1,215. If you violate, your probation could be revoked. You could be incarcerated for 93 days. You also may be eligible for early discharge pursuant to the statute. Now, do you understand everything? And ask me any questions you'd like to ask me.
So when it comes to the 3 days a week NA, and then you said inpatient.
I did not say inpatient, intensive outpatient.
Okay, so what do you mean by intensive outpatient?
You're going to be going to treatment about 4 or 5 times a week. So once you get into intensive outpatient, you don't have to go to AA or NA anymore.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get you to giddy up, so to speak, and get into intensive outpatient treatment. And until you do that, you have to go to AA, NA 3 times a week. You get in intensive outpatient this week, you don't have to go to AA or NA. But I expect you in the treatment. So you're gonna have to schedule an intake appointment. Probation will meet with you. They'll explain everything to you. You gotta get your life under control. Now, let's talk about fees. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let you pay $50 a week, and I'm not gonna ask you, you don't have any money today, do you?
No.
I'm gonna let you start paying this beginning in July. I want you to work on your sobriety, but you do have to obtain and maintain employment. I expect you to do that as well, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to have you start on July the 3rd. If you ever don't have the money, you call the court, you and I will go on Zoom 8:30 in the morning, or you can come in at 8:30 in the morning on or before due date, and I'll work with you, okay? I wish you well. Good luck. I really do. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And you're taking an Uber, right?
Yes.
Listen, I'm not real. Listen, come here. I'm not going to argue about anything here. You do not look sober to me. The more I look at you, do I think you understood everything? Yes. You got to get this under control. You got to go back. If you're taking your scripts to excess, or you're using something else, we're going to catch you. And if I find it out, I'm not going to be real kind about it. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Which one?
Evans.
People against Madison Evans, Madison Jordan Mackenzie Evans, 22B142068, 22W829692.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Michael Cross, representing Ms. Evans. Ms. Evans, please state your name for the record.
Madison Evans.
All right, I'm gonna need Ms. O'Donnell over here on this one. What are we doing on this one?
Your Honor, my client would plead guilty to the violations on both cases.
All right, so on the resist and obstruct, I placed you on probation for 12 months on November 23. And then I placed you on probation on the other case under HIDA. And if you plead guilty here, your HIDA status could be revoked, conviction entered on the assault case. And if you plead guilty on the other charge, your 771 status could be revoked and the conviction entered on the R1L case. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Did you sign, read, and understand an advice of rights form here today?
Yes, I did.
Plead guilty, you'll be giving up all those rights, and there will not be a hearing. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
All right. To the charge, you failed to attend your, and by the way, on the assault charge, we have a little bit different charges. So let's start with the resist and obstruct. The charge, you failed to attend your probation visit on March 6, 23. How do you plead?
Guilty.
I can't hear you, ma'am.
Guilty.
Did you fail to attend your the probation visit on that day?
Yes, I did.
Count 2, that you failed to attend the court work program on January 21. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Did you fail to attend on that day to the court work program?
Yes.
Count to the charge count 3, failure to attend the court work program January 28 of 23. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Did you fail to attend the court work program on that day?
Yes, I did.
Count 4, that you failed to attend the court work program February 11. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Did you fail to attend the court work program on that day?
Yes.
Count 5, that you failed to attend the anger management program with 8-week follow-up. How do you plead?
Guilty, but I did start it.
Did you fail to attend and complete that program?
Yes.
Count 6, that you failed to pay fines and costs as ordered. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Did you fail to do that?
Yes.
Anybody force you to plead guilty?
No.
Well, this is disappointing, counsel. She's gonna force me again to do something I don't want to do again today. All right, let's go over to the assault charge. To that one, failure to attend the probation visit March 6th. You plead guilty to that, ma'am?
Yes.
You failed to attend that day?
Yes.
Anybody forced you to plead guilty to that charge?
No.
Count 2, failure to attend the anger management program with 8-week follow-up. How do you plead to that?
Guilty.
Did you fail to do that?
Yes.
Count 3, you failed to pay your fines and costs as ordered. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Did you fail to do that?
Yes.
Anybody force you to plead guilty?
No.
Well, this is not good. So let's see. She didn't report. She missed 3 days court work. She didn't do anger management. She didn't pay fines and costs on either case. It's only about one. Even if I lump the two, anger management and failure to pay fines and the probation visit together, she's got at least 6 or 7 violations here.
Well, Your Honor, there is an explanation.
Tell me, I can't wait.
Well, Your Honor, as the court notices, I'm sure all these violations happen in kind of the same time period. My client has experienced a couple of really tough personal hardships recently. She's been homeless for the past several weeks. She's just got that resolved here recently.
Where was she living? On the street, literally?
I was living with my mom, and then I had to find a new place to live
Where does your mom live? What city?
in Brownstown
How long were you living with her?
my whole life.
Well, wait a minute.
When did you become homeless, Your Honor?
I see. You were living with your mom and you had to find a new place.
Yes.
And where did you go from your mom's?
I finally got into my grandma's house. She made space for me, but she doesn't have a car, so I wasn't able to.
Well, let's
attend
slow
her.
down a bit. When did you leave your mom's?
Like the beginning of January.
When did you start at your grandma's?
Just a couple weeks ago.
Where were you between the end of January and say the middle of, let's call it the second week of March?
Bouncing around.
Did you ever have to spend the night on the street?
No, not outside.
So where'd you
Like in
spend?
my car. I was sleeping in my car for a little while. But I wasn't like literally outside.
Is she working?
Not right now.
She's going to
No, I
school? Ma'am, listen, I hate to tell you, but if you're not working, you're not going to school, guess where you're likely to end up? I mean, why aren't you working? How old are you?
20.
Why aren't you working?
I lost my car and I wasn't able to get back and forth. It was a lot.
Who's this with you?
My dad.
He stepped in to help try to support it off.
Yeah, I'm
He's a-
going to temp service today so I can go get a job. He
Yeah.
finally like adjusted his schedule so that he can take me to and from
Please
work.
listen to me. You gotta work harder. You gotta work harder. I mean, I don't know of anybody that wouldn't be homeless if they didn't work. Seriously. I wonder how a lot of people do it. Somehow, some way they seem to. I don't know, have any idea how they do it. I really don't. I don't understand it. It's beyond my comprehension. First of all, I'd drive myself crazy if I had to spend all day alone. Have you, can I ask a question? I don't want to bring up a bad subject. Have you talked to a counselor at all?
No.
Did you graduate high school?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a smart young lady. When's the last time you had a job?
November,
Where at?
Precision,
Doing what?
carporting.
Why'd you leave there?
It just, my schedule I wasn't able to get there on time and it
What-
was too early,
What time did you have to start?
5 o'clock in the morning.
Where's the location at?
Taylor, on Eureka.
Before you quit, did you think about maybe? You did quit, right?
Yeah.
Did you think about maybe before you quit, finding another job? I mean, that's just,
Yeah, that's smart. I wasn't making good decisions.
Dad, come on up here a second. Can we help her out here? She's kind of worrying me.
Worries me too.
I mean, something's going on that I'm not liking here right now. What's your name, sir?
My name's Luther Gray.
So what are we gonna do here? This is not good. This is not healthy. I mean, her staying in a car, her not having a job, her leaving employment before she had another job, her missing court work, I know I told her, if you don't have the money, come talk to me. Did I tell you that?
Yes.
I tell everybody that. Why didn't you come talk to me if you didn't have the money?
Just not
Why
making good decisions.
Well, come on, that's a crutch. Let's knock it off. I mean, that's a crutch.
It's true.
Well, then let's figure out a way we're gonna start making good decisions. These are not hard
I
decisions.
just gotta fix it.
Judge tells you to do the court work program, you show up for it. Judge tells you to do anger management, you show up for it. Now, I want you to know, sir, on this R&O case, here's my notes. We'll consider after reading report with letter, whether court will take under advisement conditionally. I wasn't excited about taking this resist and obstruct under 771, which means she can keep the conviction off her record to begin with. And now she's proven that maybe I was wrong in agreeing to do so. Because listen, we're not playing pro ball here, seriously. I mean, if we're playing pro ball and we went 1 for 9, they'd pay us 19 million. You follow me? It might be over 2 years. We hit 380. I don't know, 46 million a year. They don't do that. We don't do that here. You have to bet close to 100%, if not 100%. So I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. You better figure it out though. But you got to toughen up. You know, seriously. You got to toughen up. You got to just kind of figure it out. And I don't mean that this life thing is easy. Nobody said it was easy. But you're not going to get anywhere sitting at home, sleeping in a car, not getting to work. I mean, you're not going to get there. So we got to get her some help somehow. But I know this, one of the greatest times in history to find employment. I'm setting a sentence date. I want you to have a job. When's Mr. Crawford here, Lisa?
April 12th.
I'm accepting all these pleas. Well, I'd like to do it. Don't I have you here before then, Mr. Crawford?
Oh, shoot.
He's here on the 29th, but that's next week.
Well, I think you can have a job next week, don't you? Yes?
Yes.
Because there's all kinds of them out there. There's only about 15, 20 businesses between here and Bell Tire, right?
Yeah.
Let's find a job. Sentence date, March the 29th. And what's a good time? How about if we do 10:15?
Okay.
March 29th at 10:15. Pleas are accepted to all these charges, but you're in danger of losing your status here. And I don't want that to happen to you. So you better get going. I expect you to find a job. Find a job. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
we're not gonna reschedule the court work because she's gonna probably be working a lot of Saturdays right now, right? I'll talk to you March 29th. Please don't come back without a job. Sir, we gotta keep an eye on her,
I'll
right?
make sure.
All
Yeah, I'm
right.
on it. Yeah.
Is she gonna stay with you for a few days?
Yeah, she's staying with my mom right now.
Okay,
So, yeah.
you got a free place to
My-
stay.
my
Welcome to
job,
this
yeah.
brutal world.
Yeah.
You know, if our parents and grandparents predecease us, which there's probably well over a 90% chance that they're going to, then we have to fend for ourselves. So let's get started right now, okay? Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Madison Evans. 22B142068, 22W829692. Ms. Evans, come on up here. Ms. O'Donnell, your name.
Jessica O'Donnell for probation, Your Honor.
Mr. Crawford, your appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Crawford representing Ms. Evans.
Ms. Evans, your name.
Madison Evans.
I set this for sentence. I arraigned her. It looks like she pled guilty on 22B142068. That's the resist and obstruct. She pled guilty to 6 different probation violation counts. So the first thing I have to decide is whether or not the status is going to be revoked and what the sentence would be on that case if I do so, or whether I'm going to continue probation and add additional terms. And then on the other file, 22W829692, she pled guilty to all 3 counts: failure to attend her scheduled visit, failure to attend anger management, failure to pay fines and costs. She's here for scheduling on all those. Your name?
Jessica O'Donnell for probation, Your Honor.
I told her when she left here, I'm gonna really hope that she, and by the way, I want you to know, young lady, I gave you a break by taking this one under 771.1. I gave you a break. There was a reason. I think you had a prior of some kind that I felt like it should be disqualifying. But nonetheless, the prosecutor had asked me to, and the defense wanted me to, and I did that. I'm hoping she has a job. Does she have a job?
I'm happy to report, Your Honor, that she will start working tomorrow at DQ's in Romulus.
What's DQ's?
The ice cream.
Dairy Queen?
It's DQS. It's,
I'm sorry.
Like the carpets for Ford trucks.
Even better.
Well, that's great. It still doesn't get her out of hot water here, though.
Well, let me tell you more
She's
good
just
news,
thumbed
Your
her
Honor.
nose at us left and right.
I know it's upsetting, Your Honor, but I've got more good news to report. My client has signed up for anger management as required. She's going to start that on April the 4th. So she's committed to getting back on track and staying on track with that. And she's ready to start her payment.
How old
plan.
is your client?
I'm sorry, 20.
20.
Is
Is this her, how old?
Wow.
20.
20.
Is this her dad?
Yeah.
Come on up here, will you please?
And
You don't have to.
And Your Honor, you might remember he was here last time too. He's
I do remember.
Mhm.
What's your name, sir?
Luther, great.
I don't remember. She does not live with you, correct?
She lived with my mother.
Go ahead, Mr. Crawford. What else would you like to tell me?
Well, yeah, the bottom line is that she's taking this seriously. She heard what you said last time. I think we explained before that she was going through some housing issues. She was essentially homeless for a while there, didn't have a vehicle, but she's found some housing with grandma. Dad is doubling his efforts to be as supportive as possible. I don't think you got to worry about her staying on track and finishing out probation at this stage.
Well,
I think this is a bit of a wake-up call for
I
the whole
mean,
family.
I appreciate your adversarial skills, but let me put this in perspective for you, Ms. Evans. You previously had a violation. On the 692 case. And now, between these 2 cases, you have 9 violations. That's 10. They'd throw Babe Ruth off the team if he struck out 10 times in a row. what's going on here. All I know is you're not taking me seriously at all. What do you have to say?
So I was contacted by prevention education this morning for her anger management class, and she did sign up for her follow-up class, so she's only completed the intake. She's scheduled for her next follow-up on April 4th. But she has an 8-week follow-up, so she's got 8 more sessions she has to complete.
Give me first pages of registers, please. Anything else, Mr. Crawford?
Your Honor, again, we just really like the court to consider allowing her to maintain her 771.1 status moving forward. As stated, she's 20 years old. Perhaps she's made some bad decisions, hadn't been the most responsible, perhaps a little hard-headed. But if the court could just maybe give some additional tough love here, maybe some additional volunteer work or something like that. But she's young, she's got a long way to go. She doesn't need a criminal record. And we're just asking for another opportunity.
I just cannot, I can't do that. I'm sorry. I cannot do that. She's blown this off from day one. She's done nothing. I'm entering the conviction on both of these cases. Both on the assault, I'm revoking the height of status, and I'm revoking the 771 status on the other case, RNO. I'm going to sentence her anew. And we'll go from there, but under these circumstances, I just cannot, I cannot do this. She has been on probation for 4 or 5 months. She's done nothing. Give me another first pages of registers, will you please? And on the other one, the assault case in July. I mean, no, I'm sorry. Probation orders. I apologize. All right. Give me 1 second. Has she paid any fines? Can you just tell me if she's paid any fines, please?
Yes, Judge. And then 612, there were fines paid. I can have them up for you if you'd like.
Tell me how much was paid. Did she pay anything on the 068 file? All right, give me a first page of a register, please. So now I have to go back and sentence her on the R&O, sentence her on the assault. I'll listen to anything anybody wants to say, if I let everybody finish.
I don't think we said all that we can say on this. Then.
I'm sorry?
I think we said all that we can say. Does Dad have something?
Yeah, it's been hard for her. She has been, it does seem like she has been kind of disregarding her probation and things like that. She was living with her mom, and her mom kind of, she has a drinking problem, and that's what brought on a lot of their problems. And that's what kind of caused her to get put out of her, her mom put her out. I wasn't informed about it, and then I happened to talk with her, and she was staying in her car, and I had her come out to my house, and so we didn't really have no room there, and so I asked my mom if she could stay over there with her. So she's been living there. She haven't had any transportation, and I have a lawn service, but it hasn't really been going on. So she will work with me sometimes in the winter, but we haven't had much snow. And so with my work schedule, I work at Delaco out here in Woodhaven. I'm a crane operator. And so with my schedule, I wasn't able to help her to get back and forth to a job or to her the workforce thing I think she had to do. So I'm not taking it, still was her responsibility to put forth initiative to find other ways to get things done. I just asked that the court just give her another chance.
Well, I'm not gonna send her to jail, but I cannot justify what she's done. There's too many violations. So the HIDA status, the 771 status are revoked. I'm going to simply fine you on the resist and obstruct. I'm going to assess fines in the amount of $250, cost $250, 75 victims' rights fee, $50 justice assessment, 575 or 90 days. So all the other sentence, I want to be clear, Ms. O'Donnell, all the rest of the sentence is being removed on that case. On the assault, 12 months probation. So I'm placing you on probation on that. No contact with Stephanie Hale. You cannot leave the state without the consent of the court or violate any law or ordinance. If you change your address, your place of employment, or home telephone number, you must notify probation. You have to report as directed. I'm going to order, again, no contact with Stephanie Hale. You're not to possess firearms. You're not to possess dangerous weapons at all. And also, you're to serve 4 days of the court work program. So I'm increasing that. I'm going to make you do 4 days of that. There's a $35 a day charge for that for a total of $140. You are not to enter 21930. You're not to enter 21930 Allen Road in Woodhaven. You're to do the anger management program with 8-week follow-up. Anger management program with 8-week follow-up. Fines 100, cost 75, 75 victims' rights, $50 justice assessment. Excuse me, that is $300. Probation fees are $240 for 540. Screening fee is $60 for 600, 140 in court work program fees. Your total amounts to $740. If you violate, your probation could be revoked on that. You could be incarcerated for up to 90 days. Now, I'm going to give you all the time that you need to pay this. I want you to pay it, not your dad to pay it. And that's how we're going to make it work. So, first of all, let's start on the resist and obstruct charge. I will let you pay this at the rate of $40 per week, and I will begin this starting May the 12th. Can you do that, you think?
Yeah.
If you cannot do that, all you have to do is call the court or come up here on or before the due date, 8:30. I'll be happy to give you an extension. On the assault charge, I'm going to let you pay $40 per week. I'm going to start that one beginning. I'll just start that. I don't know how it'll overlap, but I'm going to give you.
I can run them together, Judge.
What's that?
I can run them together.
I'm gonna let my judicial clerk set up terms of payment, okay? So between probation or Lisa, you guys set that up. That'll be 40 a week. And I'm just gonna say after fines, costs paid on 22B 142068. But just keep in mind that all money has to be paid by the end of probation, all right? Young lady, I wish you well. This could have ended a lot worse. You really could have. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. It's time to grow up. 11 violations, 10, far too many. Sir, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. Yeah.
I wish you well, ma'am. And you'll meet with
Appreciate it.
probation. Thanks, Mr. O'Donnell. Thank you, Mr. Crawford. People again.